Thanedar previously co-sponsored a resolution to halt aid to Israel. Whoa, describing it as an apartheid state. Wow, that's a pretty bold statement, right?
He has dismissed criminal cases and solicited payments from foreign government and coerced legal settlements for personal and political gain. In this country, we have presidents, not kings. That's
a Democrat launching impeachment efforts against President Trump, coming from this guy nobody has really ever heard of, called Congressman Shri Thanedar, who is a congressman over from Michigan. He's a proud Detroiter and other things. And he came in and he says, today we've had enough. Trump's attacks on due process, birthright citizenship, humanitarian aid, and the courts are not politics. They are a direct attack on our democracy. Okay, so in other words, everything that we just voted for that Trump is doing is an attack on our democracy, which isn't our democracy at all. It's the Democrats' democracy, since they control everything through the judges now. Now he says, enough is enough. I'm introducing articles of impeachment against him. All right. So I haven't actually seen the articles yet. This dude posted a video. We'll listen to it. Some people are commenting on that thing on his head, whether that's a real piece of hair or not, but we'll watch this, just a little bit of it, not the full thing, just for posterity, so you can see what we're dealing with here, what kind of person this is and what he says. But let me show you more about who this individual is, because it's very curious. I hadn't heard about him, and there's some interesting things happening in our country right now where people are trying to kind of commandeer the normal political process through alternative means. This guy's one of them. He says, here, we're going to go impeach the president. And we ask ourselves, where did this fella come from? So he became a U.S. citizen in 1988, actually was born in India. Oh, when his father was forced to retire, then he came over here and came to the U.S. in 1979, got his PhD, University of Akron, completed 1982. Then he became a citizen in 1988. So wasn't born in America, but like many other federal judges, now in America, and now is dictating to us how to run America. I don't know why or how he got elected in Michigan, but now he's going to come out and lecture us about American democracy after being born in a foreign land, just like Judge Chutkin and just like many others. So then he came in, started working at some company in St. Louis, came in, made a bunch of money in pharmaceuticals, then lost a bunch of money in pharmaceuticals, lost everything, went into, I think, kind of bankruptcy or delinquency, sold some debt to Bank of America, and then was good. Yeah, something was placed in receivership and more. Then just decided to run for Congress, right? $15 minimum wage, public education reform, infrastructure improvements, and more. Ran for office, got notoriety, won the Democratic primary, big fan of John McCain, and then just kept winning. So the roughly $10.3 million his campaign spent was a lot more money to spend and more. Now he's taken some political positions too. And this was an interesting paragraph. Thanedar previously co-sponsored a resolution to halt aid to Israel. Whoa, describing it as an apartheid state. Wow, that's a pretty bold statement, right? In the Michigan House of Representatives before he got elected up. Now the next year he faced opposition from AIPAC in his run for the United States House. So then he gets elected to the House. Then in the summer of 2023, he traveled to Israel on an AIPAC affiliated trip, right? Comes back from the trip on return. He described the relationship all of a sudden between Israel and the United States as mutually beneficial. So wow, those AIPAC trips are persuasive, it sounds like. So it's originally an apartheid state, and now we're on good terms. Wow, like just one trip over there, apartheid is apart together now. Whatever. So October 10th then has renounced his membership as a socialist and more, was among 56 Democrats who directed Joe Biden to remove troops from Syria, ran for some other elections, personal life, wife died by suicide in 1996, and more. Okay, so this is the dude who's now going to come in and start articles of impeachment against the president. Okay, so that's him. Congressman Shri Thanedar. And here's just a snippet of what is in the articles. He didn't release the document that I've seen yet, the full articles, but he walks us through it, and listen to how actually embarrassing this whole thing is.
Article 4, violation of First Amendment rights. He has retaliated against journalists, attorneys, and critics for exercising their right to free speech. Article 5, creation of an unlawful office, establishing the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, and giving Elon Musk unconstitutional power over our government and personal data. Article 6, bribery and corruption. He has dismissed criminal cases and solicited payments from foreign governments and coerced legal settlements for personal and political gain. Article 7,
you got to pick up that teleprompter speed.
Overreach.
Got to go faster.
Finally, and most importantly, he is attempting to consolidate unchecked power and erode the constitutional limits of the presidency. In this country, we have presidents, not kings.
Okay. All right, so as the foreign-born Indian who can't hardly speak English. He's going to come over to our country and lecture us about democracy as he's impeaching our president in a speech that he can hardly read in English in America. Get out of here, man. All right, so he's going to do this articles of impeachment garbage. We'll see what the documents look like. The Democrats are getting desperate, man, and this is what they've got. So, all right, yeah, keep coming. File the articles. What a joke. So this is the Democratic Party. This is who they are. Let's not let him forget.